morning, traders. Welcome to StockCast. My name is Todd Derby, along with my co-host, James Mason. James, how are you doing?
Todd, I'm doing well. How are you doing this morning?
Doing nice well. Shirt. So to be clear about the shirt thing, let's cover that off the bat.
Okay. Todd showed up wearing a silk shirt, and it was causing an optical illusion on camera.
It was not a silk shirt. It was just a nice dress button down, but it had fine lines in it. And for some reason with the issue is the green screen. If the, like I have a lot of green shirts, green shades, and none of those shirts can be worn in the green screen. So I need a budget for a new wardrobe, I think.
We don't have a budget for that.
Also, I was going to have I had a couple cool pictures I was going to put up, and then I realized that I didn't want my pictures to be construed as sending any hidden messages regarding what happened yesterday with ticker POAI. So I just went with the Transparent Trader logo, because I didn't want to send any bad messages. So.
All right. So really quick, let's get into it. So Dow futures are currently down 275 points. S&P 500 futures are down 39 points. And let's see if, well, hell, I was going to say, let's see if we can keep this downtrend going in the overall market. Like that's a big thing to celebrate. But if you got puts, it is. So let's just go ahead and get into it. This is the POAI Predictive Oncology Show. And let me go and just share my screen. Yesterday, man, I've never been in a stock in that moment when so much manipulation as this took place. This was bizarre. I really don't know what to say about it. It was bizarre. So a lot of the people in the Twitter comments received a tweet from me saying put in stop loss at 110, and I'll show you why. I just, after talking to some people and them being kind of upset over some things and chewing me out, it was just different. And I was like, man, what's up here? And so I started thinking about it, and hang on, TradingView's being a little slow today. So I started thinking about it, and I was just like, man, feeling a little uneasy. And let me put on the daily chart. We'll start there. That'd be the easiest way. All right. So yesterday. So this is obviously yesterday's daily candle. Well, when I was looking at this thing, man, this push up, and I was looking at the RSI, and I started thinking, after having a phone call with a couple people and just kind of, picking brains, I was looking at the daily chart, and I was like, man, we should at least have some protection in. Things just, just in case. Now, when I came up with 110 as my stop loss, would have been right there, I was like, if this thing really pulls back, shit has gotten bad. And it probably won't break down, because really 110, breaking below 110 right there, after an uptrend like that, that would be a complete reversal, and this thing technically should have stayed downtrending. If we look at the chart, on the daily chart, and again, I did not expect it to go past 110 or even test 110. I I kind of expected it if it was going to pull back to maybe come down to about 123, somewhere right in there. But yesterday's shenanigans just highlighted and displayed for all of us all of the manipulation that was taking place. That crap that happened yesterday it should be borderline criminal, to be honest. It is odd that when I tweeted that about my 110 stop loss, it was not long after that. But when I was looking at the chart, I was looking at the 2-minute chart, and 5-minute chart is pretty much kind of still the same. But I was watching the 2-minute chart actually when I made the decision. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, like I feel good, you know, based off the research and everything else that's going on. But just in case, let's have a stop loss up. Because if some crazy stuff happens, let's say we get surprise news, and let's just say the news is bad. Because we never know in the end what will happen until it happens, and then it's too late. You know, I was like, we're sitting pretty decent in profits. Let's just throw up some protection. And as this was like rolling over, that's when I started like pushing it, telling people like, hey, stop losses. And man, it seriously was like minutes later, somebody decided to dump 2 million shares in a market order. Which was bizarre. Because at that point, the volume for the day at that point was probably not much over 2 million. And for someone to dump the daily volume in a market order the way they did, either they were the most idiotic retail trader who just has a lot of damn money in the market, or this was some institution firm who just straight up manipulated it. Well, as this was taking place, I mean, it happened so quickly. I could not believe it when my stop loss got triggered at 110, and my fills on my stop were bizarre as well. So I had a 110 stop in. It started getting triggered at 110, at a couple fills at 110, 109, 108, and then it jumped up to 116. And then it worked its way back down again. And this is me just looking at all my fills later in the day. And then it went all the way down, numerically down to 103. So I was filled all over the place. And it took a total of 164 fills to get me out of that position. Now, I was talking to my buddy Chris, and which a lot of y'all know him from the score. And when I told him about it, I was like, man, it took about 30 seconds for me to get filled on everything. Well, you know, as I was talking to him, I decided to look it up, and it actually wasn't 30 seconds. It was only 5 seconds. It felt like 30 seconds because all I kept hearing from TOS was ding, 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 you know, when you get your orders filled. But it happened 164 times in 5 seconds. It just felt like it went on for an eternity. And also, I mean, I was shocked that it even happened. And I know a lot of people are upset saying that my stop loss is what caused this. And that's not true. It's not true at all. If anything, it was good that I had stop loss in, because I know a lot of the members had stop losses in higher. They took profits. And had there not been a stop loss in at 110, everybody would have went into that moment with full confidence that catching them off guard, we would have been down under $1 because they were going to get it down to $1. That was the whole intention right here. You can see it. Like, this was not us entering back in and them or us pushing it up. And we'll talk about this here in a moment. I don't want to jump too far ahead. So had we not had that 110 stop loss in, they would have pushed us down to $1, since that's where they were wanting to get filled. All of us would have been fighting at $1 or less to get the heck out of that trade. We'd have been so far upside down. And if a lot of y'all have been paying attention, you would know how, maybe not how many shares, but you would have a good guess on potentially how many shares we hold collectively. Imagine all of us freaking out under $1 because it went from 130 in a flash down to under $1, and us all fighting to get out under $1. This thing would have kept bleeding all the way down. For sure, it would have been a fight in the 90s, but potentially that thing would have probably hit the 80s. There would have been so many shares and so many people freaking out, trying to get out, that we'd have just been trying to unload and get what we could. Because something like this, I mean, the first thing you're going to think is bad news. And again, it caught me off guard. I was trying to search everywhere. Everybody was blowing every DM up of mine. People freaking out. People were attacking us. And I'm just like, how the hell did we have any responsibility for this? Like, we didn't. Like, we couldn't control this shit. You really think I would do this? like, come on. Like, let's not be stupid. But yeah, guys. So as much as some of y'all like to think that the 110 stop loss caused this to happen, that wasn't it. Now, I know I always say that there are no coincidences in the stock market. But guys, that was a damn coincidence. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when I looked at it on the chart yesterday, I was like, yeah, 110. If something happens and it goes down to 110, then I say this is probably over, because I mean, had that would have closed below 110, I'd have been done with it for real. But just so much manipulation. And I mean, I'll say it, like, it's BS. I hate it. Like, this shit is unfair. Stuff like this should not happen in the stock market. This was not normal. And I highly doubt that was a retail trader. Highly doubt it. And I say that because nothing screams coordination than literally creating a damn square on your chart on any time frame. Well, that's in the minute time frame, but literally it creates a square. It goes down, just goes sideways, and then boom, right back up, and then continues on like nothing ever happened. I mean, we could literally cut out the middle section of this chart, look at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, and you just be like, oh, okay, boring ass day. But yeah, I don't know. Todd, what are your thoughts?
I think it was manipulated, and I have a slightly different spin on it. I think when you announced your stop loss, there's somebody watching, and they went and cashed that ticket, and I think they bought right back in. We went. The volume yesterday was 13 million, 12.9 million. It was big. So I don't think anything else. I didn't use a stop loss. I was busy at the time. You and I were talking on the phone quickly, and I believe in the 65-page report, so I didn't do anything. I'm not in a position where I could have added any more money to my trade. I wish I could have. I do know that I do know a couple people close to me that called me and said, "Hey, I bought on the dip at 104, 106, and they averaged their position down." So I was happy for them. One was a young man, a high schooler that's done some work for me. So I was happy to hear that he made a smart decision there. But I think we're on I still believe we're on course. I believe in the 65-page report. I think the company's got some good stuff going on. I think there's some things in the works.
And sorry for interrupting you. I just have to say this real quick because you hit a solid topic right there. I reached out to them. Nothing has changed. This had nothing to do with predictive oncology. This was just freaking manipulation.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing has changed. And that's why after, I called to, see what was up, like, hey, did you guys drop any bad news? And they were actually surprised at the stock price because they said, they was like, I was just looking at it. It was at 134. And I was like, nah, this shit hit 98 cents. And he was like, hold on a second. And then I heard them like walk away from the phone. And he was like, oh, shit. And they were caught off guard. They definitely weren't aware of this. But yeah, that's straight manipulation, man. It's just like this crap going on right here, stuff like this. This is what makes me sour. Not against like POAI or anything with the company. Just the stock market, just trading in general. Because us as retail traders, if we were collaborating and pulling shit off like this, dude, they would shut us down.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I texted Johnny and James yesterday in our group text is that watching the manipulation take place with our own accounts in a very short time frame was a punch to the nose that we are not in control of the stock market. We are in control of little bit pieces of our kingdom, but there are greater forces that are out of our control, and the rules are made and written that we can't know. So we are pawns in this game. We can be successful pawns, but you got to be smart about it. And so that to me was a real eye opener for myself.
Yeah, I mean, just look at this is the 15-second chart. Like, happens so quickly, and just pure devastation. I mean, you were just caught off guard. There was no way to be prepared for that crap right there. And again, I didn't think that 110 would even be in question because it was so far away it was 20 cents away. And I was just like, if this thing's going to start approaching 110, it would stair step down on a normal time frame. And then we would have been like, oh, okay, crap is not looking well. But for it to happen like that, I'll be honest, like psychologically, had I not had that 110 stop loss in, I'd have freaked out. And I can maintain my composure pretty well when trading, even being in positions upside down, just getting destroyed. But something happened like that quick right there. And then trying to figure out, like if you didn't have a stop in, trying to figure out what's going on. And you're literally, the stock you're in just dropped 25% in seconds. You'd be so far gone mentally that you wouldn't function. You would not make the best decisions while you're trying to figure out what's going on. We would have been fighting each other to get out under $1, selling off at the worst possible point. And let's just say we were trying to get out and then they came in to buy it all up, make it bounce. We would have got right up in here, bought in high, and then it would have went right back down again, and we would have sold low again. That's the stuff that happens when you're not mentally prepared for the what if. And just by chance, because I've been riding without a stop loss and predictive oncology for months now. And yesterday was the first time I talked about a stop loss. And I'm so thankful I did. So thankful. Because it would have been a lot worse. Like today, we wouldn't have been waking up today with this thing being in the 120s, whatever, 120s, touching 130. We would not have been there today. But Yeah. So Todd, let's run through the comments really quickly. We're about 1 minute from the market. Let's see. So Larry New, me personally, 185 is the max range that I've always said would be the top that I would ever pay for these shares. And that's just me looking off the charts. Let's see. Just going to try to run through the comments really quick. I'm seeing a comment about, come talk to me about CEI, about manipulation. CEI just has a lot of dilution going on.
Yeah, tons of dilution.
That's not necessarily manipulation. That's the company.
Well, it seems, looking at the comments from the last 24 hours, a few people got dinged, got hurt, and then other people got a lower average or
Good morning, guys.
Yeah.
worked out pretty good for them.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, had we not had a stop loss in, it'd have been a lot worse.
Absolutely.
We would not be over $1 today. Not at all. So, all right, the market. We're in the live market now. So, man, they need to release some daggone news. We're all tired of waiting. Like, we're all freaking tired of waiting. It's been long enough. They need to give us something. We did our part. Gave them their votes. It's time to do something. So that's all I have today. I'm going to be sitting back watching this, see what happens. Hopefully the Bears don't come in and short the hell out of it today. But just be prepared, guys. Have a plan. So, all right, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch y'all in the next one.
Have a good one.